Hello, everyone. It is Berkfamily54comics. I'm Steve. Today in my live stream, let me fix this just a little bit. Today in my live stream, we're going to be talking our new comic book day haul and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 44 thoughts with my guy, Ryan. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, just relaxing. Watching these Astros. Now they're behind 3-2.
Oh, no. What happened?
I don't know. It just changed.
They must have just hit a home run or something.
Yeah, probably. Top of the seventh though, so they still got an at bat.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So are the Astros the home team?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Cool.
yeah. I
Cool.
believe that's how that works, right? They bat
Yeah.
second every inning.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're the home team.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm not very
So
good at the rules either, so.
if people didn't know already, Ryan and I are big Power Ranger fans. So that's gonna be the main topic of our live stream tonight. But first, we do need to go over what books we grabbed for New Comic Book Day. So go ahead and just talk about whatever books you grabbed or did not grab, and what books you looked at, maybe passed on or decided to get.
Well, I mean, I was kind of busy today and in a big hurry, so I stopped at one of the big chain comic shops here because it was conveniently close, and I went ahead and grabbed this one, Mighty Morphin number 44. So that's the only thing I picked up today because I was so busy. But whenever I make it to my LCS, I'm excited to get Manor Black number 4 came out today, which has been a really awesome book in my opinion. And then Valiant released Bloodshot number 2 and Roku number 1 today, so I want to grab those as well. And then the other two covers for Mighty Morphin 44 because those are always great. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I was excited about for this week. I don't know. I saw a lot of good covers this week, though. I did see there was a Buffy cover out this week that was pretty awesome, and I haven't read Buffy since they rebooted like the first. I think I read the first 3 issues of that. I didn't really get into it, so yeah, there was a lot of really cool covers, though. A lot of stuff that caught my attention. So who knows what I'll end up grabbing next? But yeah, that was my big ones. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Roku, Bloodshot, and Manor Black all this week. And then there's some pretty good books coming out next week that I'm excited for too. So we'll see what the week holds.
Okay. Uh, Working now?
Oh, I don't know. I was what? I was like, did I lose connection again?
Did you keep?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I talked as much as I could. I was like, okay.
Okay, so looks like we're good. Okay, I'm sorry, my internet went out. Bake the Snake, what's up? Okay, so I want to talk about what books I grabbed. Then I'm assuming you were done.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I was like, okay, well,
I don't know if you got my text message or not. I sent you a text.
no,
I just said
I
that my
don't
internet.
think so.
I said my internet went out.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I grabbed 3 books. Is this thing on? Yeah, it's working now. Okay, so I grabbed 3 books. I was going to grab 6, but before my LCS is going out of business, and so they're only going to get new books for, which is this book I only got the regular cover, the regular, and the keep the variant, order the variant now, and we're going to be talking about pretty soon. And then I also got Batman Annual number 4. Yeah, my internet it does suck. Pretty cool. I think this is a Lee Weeks cover, I want to say. Let me look. What does it say here? Right at the end. I don't want to look too much at it. And I don't see it. Okay, cover. Okay. And then I also grabbed Deceased number 6. I have all of the variants, all the Matina variants for this. I apologize, my internet is bad. So again, I got Deceased number 6, the variants. Batman number 4. Batman Annual number 4, and then Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 44, the regular cover. The other books that I was going to grab was going to be Power Rangers 44, the variant, and then I was also going to grab Silver Surfer number 5, and then I want to get TMNT number 99, one of the cool variants, but they only had the regular cover, and I didn't feel like paying $8 for the regular cover. I'd rather pay a little bit more and get a way cooler cover. So I'm going to wait to do that. And so those are the other 3 books that I would have grabbed. What other books do you have on your poll that you did not grab this week?
Oh yeah, the 2 variants for Mighty Morphin and Manor Black, Bloodshot number 2, and Roku number 1 are all on my list to grab. And the shop I stopped in today to grab this copy, they had TMNT 99, and it was a pretty cool cover, but the variant that they had sitting next to it really caught my eye. It looked like Shredder behind bars or something. So that was a cool looking cover. But I haven't seen all of them that they have out. I'm sure that's got a pretty big list of variants considering it's 99. So I know they're trying to do that run up to 100 like Spawn did for 300.
Yeah, I really want the Jenica cover. It's a Virgin cover by Kevin Eastman. It doesn't look like it's a book that you can get at your LCS. It's just a book I think you got to order online. So I definitely want to get that. It's around $20 or so, $20 to $30, and I want to get that. I don't need it, but I want it. So
have you read any of the Jenica stuff?
Yeah, I've been reading since issue 95.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were current. So is she a good character? You like her?
You know, I didn't know her really before she turned into a turtle outside of the issue that she did. So I don't really know much about her other than she's a Foot Clan soldier before that. But I think it's been pretty cool. In issue 97, she officially became a Ninja Turtle because they gave her the yellow bandana. So.
Oh, okay. So she was just a turtle at first?
Yep.
Then they inducted her?
Pretty much. She already had the fighting skills from being in the Foot Clan. So.
Yeah. I knew that she was a human and they did a blood transfusion and that's how she became a turtle. I didn't know she was.
Yeah, it was the only way to save her was to give her blood from Donatello. So
that's awesome.
Should we get right into this Power Rangers 44 book? I figure we can just start with our initial thoughts on the book, and then I'll try to go through it a little bit. So, what were your quick initial thoughts on Power Rangers 44?
Well, whenever I jumped on, I was reading through it for the 3rd time, and I'm definitely enjoying it more this run through. Not that I didn't like it, but I think I was a little too critical on it the first time I read it. Overall, it wasn't as exciting as some of the previous issues have been as I was reading it, but it kind of felt like it was establishing the last act of this series, this event. And so for me, it's just got my brain churning with all kinds of thoughts and ideas of where all of this is about to officially go to end this necessary evil thing. So I thought it's a really good issue. There's a lot of really cool stuff in there.
My initial thoughts were that it was probably, I keep saying this lately, but I feel like it's been one of the top 3 or 2 um, like books in the entire Necessary Evil run. Um, it kind of jumps right back into the whole main story after I think Go-Go 23 was kind of off the beaten path. It was a story about just Bulk and Skull. This goes right
Oh,
back to it. And it's kind of crazy, honestly. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of action that happens in this book, and as I kept reading it, I was like, I do not want this to end. I want more, and it was absolutely fantastic. Lots of things I did not expect. So,
yeah.
look, what's up?
Oh, I just said, yeah, like that's how I felt about it. Like, there's a lot of awesome things in here, and it really feels like it's kind of setting up the end of this event, the final battle, I guess you could say.
For sure. Oh,
What did you think of this cover?
sorry, my wife gave me a meatball. So good.
Yeah, this
Really good.
cover I think is pretty cool. I don't know, it's not like my favorite cover. I would much prefer the variants, but I thought this one was pretty cool. There's a lot going on in it, so I thought it was different. It looks a lot different than the other covers as far as I can remember.
So, if I'm looking at this right, this is the Thunder Megazord, correct?
Yes, I believe so. The one that he's destroying at the end and now the beginning.
Of issue 43 and now 44. So
Yeah.
let's kind of just go through this really quick. At the end of 43, okay, I'll back up even more. Tommy is not really helping the Rangers right now because he kind of got his butt kicked by Dane.
Mhm.
And it was kind of left out there whether or not, like, he's alive, but barely. But he got his butt kicked, so he's not really helping. And Dane is just absolutely wrecking shop on the Power Rangers. And so basically, he's essentially almost destroyed their Zords and Megazord, and at the same time, there is the Mega Rangers, which is the former 3 Rangers, plus Z or Zai, however you want to say it, which is an alien who's got a ton of power, and there's 4 of them. There's kind of been 2 different stories going on at the same time, but in this is the first issue where they actually work together. So it starts off with, hey, Dane is basically destroying them, and then literally the very next page, we got a splash page basically of all of the new Omega Rangers Zords, and they're absolutely kind of weird looking, but kind of
Mhm.
cool at the same time. And they show up, and they just honestly they just destroy Dane. Did you expect that at all?
I mean, once they were there, yes. The only reason I expected it though is because he was so meticulous in that what was it, 42? He built a battle plan for the original Rangers. So for the Omega Rangers to show up, once they were there, I was like, oh yeah, okay, they're just gonna wreck his deal because he's been planning to fight only the original or the Mighty Morphin team. So I kind of knew they were going to tear him apart, but I didn't expect them to show up so fast. I mean, they show up on page 2. Like it's kind of crazy how quick. Like you said, it's a splash on the second page there,
They
and
literally show up on page. They literally show up on page 2.
yeah. So I didn't expect them to show up in this issue that fast, but yeah, once they were there, I was like, oh yeah, he doesn't have a plan for the Omega Rangers. Like he's about to get wrecked shop. What I didn't expect to come out of that though was for them to actually beat him and put him in a canister. I really thought he was. I don't know. It almost feels a little short to me that he's been put in a canister. He seemed like the big bad of all this, and now he's just gone.
That does seem like they kind of just like they rose and rose and rose this character, and they just essentially destroy him in like one quick blow. And like you said, they just put him in a canister, and he doesn't show up again. Now I'm assuming
Hmm.
that he will show up again. There's you
Yeah.
don't plant all those seeds if you're Ryan Parrott and not expect him to come back.
Yeah,
Like, they put a huge seed with him and Lord Zed, which we will talk about here shortly. But
yeah.
with a huge seed that
And
they planted with him.
to me, it's kind of like I was saying. It's kind of it doesn't feel like an earned victory to me because we've seen how he plans his attacks. So the Omega Rangers beating him, I mean, it feels unearned because we know that he didn't have a plan for them. You know, if he had had a plan for them and lost, then I would feel like it was an earned victory. But really, they just kind of caught him off guard.
Yeah, and like I kind of thought that it was just going to be Z that takes him down because she's obviously the strongest of that group. But it's honestly a group effort, it looks like.
Yeah,
And then right after that, the Omega Rangers and the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, meet for the first time, but the Omega Rangers do not say a word. They just look at them and beam off. And they talk about that the Blue Emissary says that they can't talk to them and it'd mess up the timeline and all that. And while this is going on, we get the return. Get the return of my favorite guy, Tommy. Tommy comes back,
yeah.
and
Before
he's still injured and all that. But I mean, he returns, and everyone is excited to see him. What did you think about Tommy returning in the same issue that Dane gets his butt kicked?
Yeah, I thought that was great. I was kind of surprised, honestly. I thought they were going to sideline him a little bit more. So I was kind of surprised he came back in so quickly, and I thought it was a really cool scene the way they played that out because you get that off-page dialogue, and you're like, "Wait a minute, who's saying this?" You know, and you flip the page, and boom, there he is in all of his glory. So I thought that was really cool. A little, I don't know. I feel like Zordon knowing about the Omega Rangers was not in my version of what was going on. So to me, that kind of throws a little bit of a monkey wrench at me. But I can also see how that will play well that there's already established lore about these Omega Rangers, you know?
I did not expect for Zordon to already know who the Omega Rangers were. I did, but I guess he's kind of connected to the morphing grid, obviously, and
Yeah.
as is the emissary. So maybe like he's kind of like Doctor Manhattan, where he can see the future in the beginning and all that stuff all at the same time. So maybe he already knew about that, but he also seems like he doesn't know about that because he didn't know who exactly they were, if they were friend or foe. He did make it seem like they were friends though, which was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the Psycho Rangers, I don't guess you would see a Ranger team and really assume them to be bad guys. But yeah, I thought I never once expected him to know who they were. So to already have lore in this universe about them seems kind of weird to me. But I can see how it makes sense because, like you said, he's connected to the morphing grid. So
And one thing I did like about this book, there was a one pager that kind of goes with what happened in Go Go 23, which is just about Bulk and Skull and their whole YouTube channel and all that. So they talk about how there's two teams now and they're interviewing people about that. So that's kind of a callback to that, which I liked. But
yeah,
on the same page before that, you see Jason talking to the Blue Emissary about what their plan is because they're kind of frustrated because they just captured all these guys, but they also feel like their friends need help. And they're not really asking if they can do stuff anymore. They're just straight up telling them, Blue Emissary, this is what we're doing. And at the same time, you see the new Rangers and the originals fighting, which is something that you never saw in a TV show. And Ryan Parrott has talked about this on his Ranger Danger podcast, that he doesn't want it to be a seamless transition like it was in a show. He wants more dialogue with it. He wants it to be like, hey, these kids, they're brand new. They're going to make mistakes. They're pretty much like freshmen working with seniors, if that makes sense. What did you think about all?
Yeah. So starting at the the scene right there where Jason's talking to the Blue Emissary, I really like this because to me to me, this was actually probably the most important scene in this book because it's the first time we've ever seen like one of the Rangers, specifically Jason this time, but they never really stand up to the leader. They never really take charge and want to run themselves. You know, they're always happy with having that mentor. And here we see Jason like, look, we're going to do this, and we just want you to say it's okay, you know? At the same time, it's also the first time we've seen the Rangers escalate a battle, you know, or hint at that they want to escalate a battle because they've always been defensive, you know. So it was a really cool scene, and I love the artwork. You probably can't see it on here, but I love the artwork on the last two panels there, the way that they show the emotions of Jason. That artwork is just really cool. It really shows like how you know, powerful that moment is. And then, yeah, I thought the same thing
Are you
on
talking
the.
about the very bottom right here? Are you talking about this right here? We kind of like Goku a little bit, but because he's so upset. You talking about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that and the panel right above it. Both of those panels, I thought illustrated the emotions really well. The way it
I
has the little
love,
outline.
dude, the artwork in almost every one of these issues has been just beautiful, on
Oh
point.
yeah,
The color has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed pretty much all of the work in almost every single issue.
yeah, yeah. It's all been phenomenal. And I thought the same thing on the next page with the argument between the old guard and the new guard. I thought was really cool. To see Rocky's dumb face there, like trying to back out of an argument and stuff. I was like, that's cool. So, yeah, that was all good stuff there. I thought it was really great character moments. And like I said, I think the most important scene in the book was probably Jason and the Blue Emissary. He really laid down the law there.
I feel like there are 3, maybe 4 big moments that happen in just one issue. You know what I mean? First, we got the new team showing
Yeah,
up to save the
meeting
old
the
team
Rangers for the first
and
time.
meeting them for the first time and beating Dane. That's one. Second one is Tommy coming back. But they kind of glance over that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big moment, but they kind of like step away from it. And then the third and fourth kind of mold together, and that's like you said, how Jason is basically stepping up to the Blue Emissary, saying we're going to do something, we're doing it now, and they're taking charge, and that leads us to the culmination of this book, and that is what the Rangers need to fight to take care of Zed, so the other team doesn't have to worry about them anymore. They feel like, hey, if Zed, we don't have to worry about our friends anymore. We don't have to be stressed out all the time. And it ends with kind of a cliffhanger with the Red Ranger.
Oh, that last
Jason,
page is so good.
So, what are your thoughts?
That's something I put on my wall. No, I was just saying this is something I would put on my wall. Like if I could get just a nice print of that last page, take out those dialogue balloons, and that'd be awesome, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So what did you think of the final, just like kind of battle that's starting, that's going to carry into the next issue?
I mean, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, I mean, we've never seen the Rangers be proactive or escalate a battle. I think there are some seasons where they are like police officers and stuff, but you know, these Omega Rangers, this idea that they're like just out in orbit above Earth, they can show up to fight, lets us know like really they could orbit any planet. Like they can basically be like a galactic police force, you know, almost like the Green Lantern Corps or something, you know. So I think this set up a lot of really interesting things to happen with that team specifically. But overall, I really enjoyed this issue. I thought there was this is why it feels like it's kind of the beginning of Act 3 of all this, you know, is because there's so many little breadcrumbs and like, you know, plot threads that are set up right here. Like you have Tommy coming back, you have the rift in the team. Now the Rangers know that there's the Omega Rangers. You know, they put Dane in a canister. They went to the moon and they're proactive. Like there's a lot of just like ready to bud plot threads there.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like exactly like you said, there was a lot going on. We've never really seen that. We have seen the Rangers before at the moon, um, but not very often. And I thought that. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just thought that was a cool moment. Like, I was wondering what they were going to do when they were talking to the Blue emissary about like how they're going to take charge. I was like, what does Jason have planned? That's kind of what I thought, though, honestly, that they were going to take the fight to them. That was one of the two things, I guess. The other was that they were just going to go ahead and go straight to the command center because they can get in because they're part of the morphing grid and just explain who they were. But I don't know. I thought it was a really cool moment. Like I said, the whole book as a whole was fantastic. Probably now that we're getting to know the other team, I wanted more of the original team more at the beginning, and it was kept being more and more Omega Rangers. And I kept telling you, man, I'm not sure I like what's going on, but you kind of start to get more attached to that team, the original team, and what's going on there, along with the Mighty Morphin characters. And so I just felt like this book was written so well. It was finally an interconnected story, and we kept waiting and waiting and waiting for that. And we finally got the big payoff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think part of the reason I think they had to develop the Omega Rangers because they're brand new and they sidelined the original team because we already know them and stuff. So I think we're finally seeing all of that pay off. Like now we know these two teams pretty intimately. So that was interesting. I also thought, one, there was a lot of different types of putties right there at the end whenever they do the assault on the moon base. So I wonder if that will play into anything because one of them even kind of looked like Venom, you know. And then the other thing in that part in the moon assault, like what's her name, Kaya. She's always kind of had this low level kind of like attitude of like, you know, things are really easy and like you're just making them sound harder than they are, you know. Kind of like that conversation when he's talking, she's like, these are the putties you're always complaining about. This is nothing, you know, and then she just sends them off on their own. I was like, I feel like that little piece of her personality really bubbled over in this particular issue because I've always kind of felt that way about her, like, you know, but this issue definitely showed that off a lot more than some of the previous stuff.
One thing I do have one question, like big question, and it hasn't yet to be answered. Do these Zords, these new Zords, they come together to make another Megazord? And
yeah,
the question I have is where is it? Where is it? Okay. It shows the Megazord down right here. Is the Thunder Megazord done? Like, is it fully destroyed? Like, they talk about it, but they don't ever really exactly say. I feel like. What are your takeaways from those two questions?
As far as the Omega Rangers coming together, I don't know. As a kid, I always hated the way that the show would just like call the Zords and put them together, you know. And I was like, I want to see them do stuff, you know. And they finally did in the movie, and it was kind of garbage. But you know, like, so I'm kind of on that same thread as Ryan Perot, where he really wants to see them, you know, the Zords be more able on their own. So I kind of suspect they don't connect. You know, but part of that is conjecture based on what I know of him outside of these books. So who knows what will actually happen? I also think on social media he said he won't say yes or no on that. And then as far as the Megazord being done, I could see it being done for this event, you know, and then that'll be what Mighty Morphin is going forward, is them kind of rebuilding from the ashes.
And you know, that's a good point to take. It's something I hadn't even thought about, which was the future after Necessary Evil. I think you're right. That is something that they could be doing, is they could be looking forward to picking up the ashes and then saying, hey, you know, your Thunder Megazords are done. We need some new power. And they could go out and try to find Ninjor because they haven't really shown him since Shattered Grid. And do
Yeah.
they really know who he is? You know what I mean? They're
Hmm.
supposed to, and
Yeah.
they can go find him and find the ninja and try to get the ninja powers, or they could go and find man, what is that one lady's name in the movie that they go and find a great power from?
Oh, I don't remember her name. The one with the stick.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't
yes.
remember her name.
You know, I honestly felt like when they were at wrong one, when they were at that other planet, they were looking for that one person who's got a lot of power. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a reason to keep talking about him, how he's killed people, but he didn't really mean to. I feel like there's going to be something there. You don't plant that seed for no reason. But I felt like when they were at that planet, I almost felt like they were going to see that lady from the movie, but they did not.
Yep.
Honestly, that was my initial thought. I was like, hey, they've been here before, but I feel like that lady's going to be here.
I never even considered that, but yeah, that would be pretty amazing. And I could see that being a possibility because Ryan.
Dulcia is her name. Dulcia.
Oh, okay. They even tell us what planet she was on in the movie?
That I do not know.
Boom. If not, because I don't think they do, that'd be perfect. Because on Boom Room, he talks a lot about how the whole reason that he keeps sending them back to Breen was because he likes to take them to familiar places because they're like just kind of like in this limbo of the cosmos and the galaxies and stuff. And so he's like, if I take them somewhere familiar, then we don't have to explain where they're at that much. You say they're here, and everybody understands. So that'd be a
Yeah,
great way to connect that is that maybe that chick is on planet Breen, so we get to go back there yet again. That'd be great.
yeah, absolutely. So, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the series? What do you want to see more of, and all that? What are you looking forward to?
I mean, as of this issue, my biggest thing is Dane. Dane needs to come back because they've been building him up and up, and this victory didn't feel won. So yeah, I definitely think he needs to come back. I really want to see Lord Zed in some combat with Jason. I think that'll be interesting because we've never really seen him do much other than stand around and talk crazy. Maybe zap some people from a distance, but to see him take on Jason, I think that'll be really interesting. And then honestly, like the relationships between the Omega Rangers and the Emissary and what the rules are with all of them, as well as how the new team's coming together and that little rift we got to see there in this issue. I think that's the biggest things I'm looking for the payoff on.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, seeing is the new Power Rangers earning their stripes. You know, kind of becoming in that team becoming one since they showed them fighting last issue. I
Yeah.
know that this the storm is always darkest or worse before it gets better. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I feel like it'll be nice when they actually finally become one team and become better. And to do that, they need their leader back. My favorite, Tommy. He
Tommy.
needs to come back. I would love, and I know he said it before, Ryan Parrott said it before, that the Green Ranger is done. I would love for some time travel or something. They talked about the green crystal in this issue. Kind of
Yeah.
got me excited. I would like to see one more time the Green Ranger. Now, I love the White Ranger too, obviously, but I would love one more time to see the Green Ranger in this necessary evil storyline. Got to make it happen, in my opinion. Got to figure something out.
Yeah.
Um, what's
Well,
that?
Zed was talking about making an evil team of Rangers or whatever. And I was like, oh, this could be really interesting because he could pluck people from the school that we're now familiar with. They were just extras on the show, but there's some background characters in the comics that they could actually pull and make it, like what's his name, Matt
Matt?
Cook. What if he was brainwashed to think that those are the bad Rangers, and so he becomes, like a green with evil sort of thing, and you could put Bulk and Skull in there. There's some other regular characters that have appeared in the background, like stuff like that, and make it a really personal fight. I think that'd be really cool to see.
Dude, Matt coming in as the Green Ranger, that is Dude, that's good. I like the way you're thinking. That's great
Yeah.
because you guys said that I think Matt is going to be coming back at some point, and I believe the Ranger Danger guy has said that Matt has only existed so far in just Go Go. He has not yet ever been in Mighty Morphin, and I feel like that is going to change at some point.
Mhm.
I think we're going to get I hope and pray we're going to get a Green Ranger because I love the Green Ranger, obviously. I want to see Tommy back fighting. I want to see the team working cohesively together. And I want to see the old team and the new team talk to each other and kind of have that fun, loving conversation that we all want them to have. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
like in Game of Thrones when everyone of the family of, oh gosh, Stark, all the Stark people are
Oh, they
all
start to
over
work
until the
together.
end.
Yeah.
We all want them to come back together and they finally get back together. I want to see that with the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be awesome. That would be a really interesting moment just because, like, I mean, you know that, like, Tommy and Kim, and especially Kim and Billy, are gonna be like, why'd they choose you to be, like, basically gods, you know? Like, why are you better than us? What made you better than us? What made, you know? Like, there's got to be a lot of complicated emotions at the table in that conversation, and that'd be really interesting to see how that plays out, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got any other thoughts on this book before we wrap it up?
No. Oh, I did. There was one other panel that I kind of noticed that I wanted to point out. On whenever the Rangers are talking to the Rangers, man, I'm terrible at this. Anyway, this last panel on that page, right?
Yep.
If you look at the Yellow Ranger, it looks a lot like Trini, and it's hard to tell, but it looks like she's cutting her eyes toward like Rocky or something, you know, almost like more of a connection with him than like Billy and Kim standing right next to her.
They're all
Maybe I'm
looking
reading.
straight except for Trini. She does have her head turned a little bit.
I don't know. To me, it just looked like Trini instead of Aisha behind that visor. You know.
Oh, at the bottom, you mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
The
I
last
think you're
panel of
right.
that page.
Okay, so this one right here at the bottom,
Yeah.
this does look more like Trini than it does Aisha. You're right. I
Yeah.
didn't
And do
notice
you
that.
see
I wonder if
her
I
eyes
was.
kind of look like they're cutting toward the Red Ranger, toward Rocky?
Yeah, she
I,
does.
I was wondering if that could be indicative of like, you know, that rift, that connection with the new Rangers and the old Rangers, you know, or maybe I'm just reading too much into the artwork. Who knows? But I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, that's kind of weird that it looks like Trini.
You know, because on the very next page, it shows Trini without a helmet on, and it does not look the same to me. Her
Hmm.
hair looks different. And I don't know if it's just the shadows or what it is. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm probably reading too much into it, but yeah, like the very next panel, you have Aisha with no helmet, and it looks nothing like who's behind the visor in that panel right before it.
Well, you've noticed artwork stuff like that before, like you said with the different parties, and also before when um,
Um,
Jason is fighting Draken, and he's Draken is all the different times he's been with the different powers from Shattered Grid. I didn't even notice that, but you
yeah,
noticed it, and that's interesting. So there might be something there. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. I mean, I'm not even much of a, I don't know. The art's not the important part to me, but I don't know. I like to look at all the pictures very slow. Like the more comic books I read and the better I've gotten at reading them, the slower I am at reading them, you know, because I
Yeah,
look into all those little details.
right. Well, that's all I got, man. I'm excited for the rest of the series. I think we get probably Go in about 2 weeks or so because we've been getting one of each a month, which has been nice because before it was just one of each a month, but they were different, completely different stories. And now that
Hmm.
they're basically working together, it's like we're getting 2 books a month of the same series, which is
Yeah,
absolutely great. I love that. Huge Power Rangers fan, obviously. So
yeah. I grabbed this issue, and I don't know why it finally sunk in, but this is 44. There's only been 4 Mighty Morphin issues of this storyline, so
five,
I'm really
five.
40. Yeah, with 40, so 5 of them. You know, that's still like nothing. I felt like we're like 10 issues into this, so I'm really excited to see where this goes next. They have a lot planned out, obviously, you know.
Hey, real quick, what do you think of my new Power Rangers CGC books?
Yeah, I saw. I was watching you rearrange them. That looks awesome, though. I love that you have all of those covers just like lined up like that. Boom, 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 boom.
Do you have any of those helmets, like from issue 0 at all?
No, no, not the early ones. No, I didn't come
No.
into the comic until, oh, I don't know. They were probably at least 10, 11 issues in.
Okay, see, I've been reading every single issue of the Higgins run until the next person took over with like the weird team. Then I
Yeah,
stopped picking it up, and I have every
30
single issue of Roman Parrot's
um,
run on Go Go, and then I've been picking this back up since issue 39. So I have every single issue that Ryan Parrott's been a part of, and then every single issue of Ryan Higgins as
nice.
well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I've been with Go from the beginning, but Mighty Morphin I didn't catch on till like 10 or 11 or something like that.
did you just not feel like picking it up, or were you not collecting at the time, or what?
Yeah, I wasn't even collecting at the time. I didn't even know that that was a thing. And then I saw an article somewhere on the internet or something about how like the new Power Rangers comic is, you know, if you're a fan of Power Rangers, you should be reading. And I'm like, wait, what? There's a comic? And so that's how I got into reading that particular run. Before that, I was mostly just reading trades
So
every now and then. So
did you go back and get the trades for the first two like storylines before issue 10 or 11, whenever you picked it up?
yeah, yeah, I picked up
Okay.
the trades and got caught up, and then I started collecting from there.
Okay.
I have a few of the trades here and there. I'll pick them up every now and then if I see them for a good price. But because I've read the whole thing and I have all the floppies, like it's not a huge, you know, I'm not that much of a completionist. So whatever, you
Gotcha.
know.
Real quick before we end this, who's your favorite? Who's your top 2 to 3 Power Rangers and why?
Oh man. I mean, top three is like easily, you know, Jason, Tommy, and Billy. I mean, those were my favorites. I think Billy was my favorite as a kid, and then like, you know, Tommy when he showed up, it was that much more awesome. Jason, I've really come to love over time. You know, the more years it's been, the more I'm like, yeah, he was a good leader. Especially once Rocky showed up, I was like, why is this guy a Red Ranger? He's such a weirdo. I think Rocky's probably my least favorite Power Rangers character. Whoa.
If you didn't already know who their Power Ranger is, it's the
Yeah.
Green Ranger. My family and I were going as the Power Rangers tomorrow night for Halloween.
Oh,
Obviously,
sweet.
I'm going to be the Green Ranger. We're just wearing the helmet mask thing and the T-shirt that I've had that I've worn every single year for like 8 years. And my wife is going to be the Yellow Ranger. And we got
Nice.
the full suit for my daughter to be Pink Ranger. I'll just show that off real quick and then we'll end this live stream because I know it's been going on for a long time. So
Yeah.
if you want to say anything real quick while I look for this about any of the books that you've been picking up or anything.
Oh, I will say this. Everybody goes Green Ranger on Tommy. So for me, I mean, it's a coin toss, but probably one of the most iconic things I can think of as a kid was watching the movie and how cool they made the White Ranger in that. Like, he has the best skydiving sequence at the beginning. He has the best fight sequence at the beginning. He shows up with Saba, and Saba like cuts the cable with the laser eyes and stuff. I'm like, okay, this guy's really cool. So if I have to choose between green or white on Tommy, I will go with white because everybody else always claims green anyway. Of course, the other iconic moment is whenever the Green Ranger goes in the Megazord and Green with Evil and kicks everybody out. And as a kid, I was just like, "What is he doing? Like, you can't just walk in there. You can't beat everybody up on your own, you know." So, yeah, I mean, two iconic moments. But I think in the movie, they just looked really awesome on screen.
Dude, I agree with almost everything you said. Like the White Ranger was amazing on the movie. I was so happy when I remember watching as a kid. I was so happy when he came in as the
Yeah,
White Ranger. I thought that was amazing. But I still, since I remember watching from the very first episode. I remember when it first came out. I was 5 years old. I watched the very first episode the day it came out,
Yeah.
and every single episode after that of the first couple seasons. And the Green Ranger just has a big spot in my heart. I remember being him for Halloween as a kid, so I love him. Obviously, I've met him. Frank and all. He's great, really awesome. So yes, but let me show off real quick my daughter. She is going to be the Pink Ranger. Hold on, let me play it.
Awesome.
And so here's what she looks like without the helmet on.
Nice.
So I'm assuming she's going to make me bring her the Morpher, even though it doesn't fit with her suit. She's probably just going to carry it around and do the whole pterodactyl thing a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
So. All right, and I appreciate you joining me. This was a lot of fun. I love talking with you every time we do this. Can't wait for Go-Go 24 when it comes out. I'm excited for that. Excited for the whole series. Ryan Parrott did finally message me back. You saw it. He said he's been pretty busy lately. Hopefully we can get him on sometime. It'd be awesome if we got him, you and me, and maybe even the Ranger Danger guy all on at the same time. That'd be a pretty powerful conversation. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I'd be intimidated by the Ranger Danger guys, though. They're like experts.
They are super experts, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like you and me are more experts on the comic book series, maybe, but they're definitely more experts on the TV show.
Yeah, yeah. They've seen so much of the show that I don't even think I ever watched. So, because I watched it all the way through, I think Lost Galaxy or In Space, whenever they had the big blue spaceship, and that's pretty much where I started to fall off from it. But I watched all through Turbo, and they went to space and all of that. I remember all of that. Yeah, the Gold Ranger, Jason came back. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they've seen even more than I could ever think of.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for watching, or everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Ryan. And real quick, before we get off, I do want to mention my K-State Wildcats had a huge win on Saturday over number 5 Oklahoma, 48-41. I lost my voice at it. It was an amazing game. Pretty exciting time for a K-State fan. So that's why I had to rep my team and my basketball. They were the basketball team playing tonight. So how's the atmosphere doing?
4-2, bottom of the 8th. So they're down by 2.
No.
Yeah.
Darn it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We got 2 more at bats.
Hello.
Can you say hi?
All right, thanks everyone for watching. Again, this is Steve, Berkfamily54comics. Go Cats. Ryan, you want to say goodbye?
See ya. You'll have a good evening.